Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. So it's that time of week again. It's our usual Saturday night live with My Family Garden. So let's have a catch up with everyone and see how everyone's doing, and we'll answer some of your questions as well. So it's been an absolutely crazy last 24 hours with the winds and with the storms. So how have the storms been affecting you this week? Have you been hit by the gales? I mean, what's been going on with you guys? Sean, how are you doing, mate? Thank you very much for coming in. Hope you're keeping well. How's things keeping with you? Dean's lost the plot. Dean, how are you doing, mate? I know I saw your picture earlier about the winds. How have you been going? How's things going with you guys? Are you guys safe? Because I actually just saw where is it? Let me find the post. So there is it. So an entire roof has been blown off someone's house. So in Bensham, wherever that is. I think that's the northeast somewhere. But someone's entire roof has been blown off. So I hope everyone's been all right. Nothing as drastic as that. I'll bow before you. Yeah. Sheep's allotment, how are you doing? Storms haven't affected me, to be honest. You're lucky, mate. You're very lucky. Wendy, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. Brian, how are you feeling? I hope everything's good. Have you guys been hit by the storms at all? So Nafisa Hussein, assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Thanks very much for coming in. Hope you're keeping well. So Dean, yeah. So I put a picture up about the winds ripped the roof off my chicken run, and my chicken runs ended up in my neighbour's garden or a couple of doors away. So I put a picture up on Twitter with the roof wrecked, and the Daily Mail contacted me. So the Daily Mail contacted me asking if they could share it on their website and share it in their articles. In a very nice way, I told them where to go. Basically, so that's what Dean's referring to in that reply. But yeah, so I just told them to basically do one. There's absolutely no way I can have anything to do with a racist organization like that. So there you go. But I felt quite good actually telling the Daily Mail to go something themselves. But yeah, I was quite happy about that. It's left quite a happy feeling inside me, quite a smugness inside me, to be honest with you. Dean saying tree came down 6 doors up from my granddad. Dave's into the main road. Who's going to be clearing that? The council going to come out and clear that? We'll have a look tomorrow, see if there's any damage down the plots. Entire roof blown off. Didn't even know it was that bad. Sean, it's been absolute nightmare up here. We've had some quite bad damage in the garden. So bean frames fallen, just smashed into bits. My cloche has been smashed into bits. My greenhouse roof was about to come off. The chicken roof's come off. My glass coffee table's been damaged. So quite a few things messed up in my garden. Bensham's near Newcastle. It's been bad up here. Yeah, I saw your post with the gusts of up to 80-mile-an-hour gusts and stuff. It's been absolutely mental. Last night was crazy. My bins were halfway up the drive. I thought, lucky I left my car on the road, not on the drive yesterday, because if I'd have left my car in the drive, those bins would have been straight into my car. Yeah, Sean, it's hit me quite bad actually. Fair bit of work. It's going to take me a couple of weeks to get back. Now with all the damage, I've videoed it today, so you can have a look at what's happened. I'll put a video out tomorrow, and you can see what the damage has done. But it's going to take me a couple of weeks just to get back to where I was yesterday. Brian saying he's not bedbound anymore. Brian, that's fantastic news. Absolutely fantastic news. How are you feeling at the moment? Whoever you got to put your chicken roof on, I'd request my money back. Dean, that's what, I told my mum about it. Mum's gone to Bangladesh. So my mum went to Bangladesh last week. And I spoke to her this morning and I told her, look, the chicken roof's been blown off. And she goes, that's because you built it in a way designed to fall off. So that's what she turns around and says to me. I built it in a way that wasn't up to standard. So yeah, you're not the only one saying that, mate. It's been windy here in Manchester, but not too bad. It's been really bad up here. I was in the attic and you can feel the whole of the attic shaking. So I think it's been quite bad. It's been okay down in Birmingham. Oh, you're lucky. Yeah, I'm glad for those of you that just passed, the winds have just passed you by. I'm really glad that nothing bad's happened. And how's it? Have you been up to your plot to have a look at what's happened, Dean? No wind here in North Wales yet. Hopefully, it's supposed to start dissipating tomorrow. So tomorrow's forecast is a lot less than it was yesterday. By the way, I won't be in long as I have a 9 p.m. with a special guest giant veg grower, and beekeeper Seb is coming along to share his journey. So yeah, I was going to shout you out about that, Dean. Actually, you leave when you've got to. So Dean's doing a live stream straight after this one. So his is scheduled for 9 o'clock. So Dean's lost the plot. He's got a special guest, and they're going to be talking about giant vegetable growing. So if anyone is interested in that sort of thing, do go and check that out straight after this live stream. You can hop over onto there, and he's a funny character as well, so he'll give you a bit of entertainment. What part of I'm in West Yorkshire, so I'm in Leeds. So fair north, but not north as the North Pole, where up at Newcastle and stuff like that. Mark's allotment plot. How are you doing, Mark? Thanks very much for coming in. Mark, I keep meaning to ask, whereabouts in the UK are you? Because you sound Yorkshire-ish, but whereabouts are you? Been a bit breezy up in here in Scotland. Woke me up at 3:30 this morning when it was out in the garden. 8:30 rescuing trampoline that was trying to escape. See, whereabouts in Scotland are you? Because where's Andy Williams? He's quite far north, and he was saying he was getting absolutely battered. He was getting battered by the winds. Yeah, I think you guys got it a lot worse than anyone else. I'm pleased you and Dean made a better job with my polytunnel than you did with the chicken. The way I did it, right, was I left it open on the end that catches the wind. And I think that's the problem. So if I'd have put some sort of flap down or something to block that bit of wind catching underneath it, I'd have protected myself a bit. But the way I did it was I left it with it catches the wind on the open end, and it's just completely blocked, completely blocked on the other side. So the only way it's got to go is up, and so it's a bit of a bad design actually. Ivan, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. Had a bit of wind today, but not really that bad. Oh, you're lucky, and I'm glad it's not that bad. Alicia Rees, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. Everyone's having a dig at my chicken coop building skills, but it's all good. It's all good. It's a nice bit of banter. Originally from a place called Cramlington. First one. Okay, so have you got it? Yeah. So I've been helping my daughter do her homework today. So she's doing a comparison between the International Space Station and the old the Skylab, the US Skylab. So she's doing a poster for school for that, and we've been Googling space station facts for most of the day. For Cramlington, not far from where Dean is in the northeast, been up in Scotland now for 13 years. Okay. So Tony's been hit bad. Tony, have you had a lot of damage then? Well done getting in the paper. Yeah, that's been a bit of a highlight. I mean, it was a really nice article actually. So there's a local paper to us called. Yeah, you can do it up here if you want. So there's a local paper to us called the Asian Standard. It's Leeds, Bradford, West Yorkshire, that sort of thing. And they rang me up. They contacted me a few months ago and asked me if I'd do an interview. And then they completely went silent for about 2 months. And they rang me up last week and said, okay, can we have an interview with you? And I mean, the writer, she spent quite a bit of time going, asking about everything. About the stuff that we're getting up to in the garden, about the stuff that we're doing with the chickens and the family and what we're cooking and all that sort of stuff. And she proper went into quite a lot of detail. And in the paper, they did a full 2-page spread. Put me on the front page of the paper and did a 2-page spread of it. And then, absolutely brilliant. I'll put some posts up on Twitter and Facebook and all that sort of stuff. So it's there. So if anyone does want to have a look at it, it's a really nice article. And it's just because last year when we started the Dig It Out campaign, I got loads of requests for interviews specifically around Dig It Out. And every time they did that, I was telling them, look, this is the problem, right? You're only interested when I speak about Dig It Out. I'm doing some really good stuff in the garden. Yeah. Talk to me about that. That's the thing that I want to be talking about. And this is the first paper the first person that actually wanted to talk about the garden. Talk about the garden and the stuff that we're doing in the garden. And yeah, so it's a really nice article. Proper north, so Mark's proper north, not this Leeds north nonsense. Pretty much a Cockney by the time you just my geography is really terrible. So the way I work is we've got Yorkshire, then we've got Birmingham, and then we've got sort of London. Anything south of Birmingham's London, and then we've got Newcastle and Scotland, and that's basically my geography. But the first time I've ever been called a Cockney. I don't even know if I could do the accent, but yeah.
How come it's different?
How comes it's this is the studio, that's why it's a little bit different. Oh, so do you want to show your picture?
I haven't done that much yet.
Okay, so this is our project. I'm really proud of it. I've helped loads, haven't I?
This is the practice sheet.
So that's the practice sheet of our International Space Station homework. I say our homework because I'm putting a lot of effort into that. Yeah, that's my geography as well. See, I'm not good at geography, and that's pretty much the way I see the UK. But what has anyone started planting? Has anyone started growing? Excuse me. Has anyone how are things going with all your gardening ideas and plans at the moment? Because we've got most of our chilies sown. I think there's a few more chilies that I've got on order, and once they come through, I'm gonna get them sown. But I'm struggling to find some of my seeds. Like I said, my mum went away last week, and she's gone away, and she won't be back till April. And when she's not around, I'm always struggling to get organized because she's the one telling me, oh, you need to plant this, or you need to plant this, or we're gonna, and telling me when to plant and how to plant, and we're always having a little argument and discussion and stuff about what we're planting and when we're planting and how much we're planting. So I know I'm gonna go and plant a load of stuff that I like growing, and she's gonna come back and see it, and she's like, what have you done? You've ruined the garden this year. But we'll see.
Do you have daisies?
Do I have daisy seeds? No, but we've got different types of daisies in the garden. See, Dean gave us some types of a daisy family. He gave us some mini mums, didn't he? So I'm going to sow some aubergine seeds on Tuesday. That's about it. Sean, do you grow chilies? Because if you haven't grown chilies is a great one to start now. Aubergines are a great one to start now. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to start sowing all my tomatoes and get heavy on my tomatoes. I've sown a few tomatoes just because because I couldn't resist it. But in a few weeks, we'll start sowing the bulk of my tomatoes once I can get the table set upstairs. Because what I do is I have in the attic, I've got a table in front of the window, so I put those old painter decorated tables. I put one of those in front of the window, and we just put all our plants in front of that window. So we've got loads of plants going to come out of the shoe cupboard, and once they come out of the shoe cupboard, they're going up into the attic, and they're going to sit on that table, and they'll stay on that table till probably the end of March, April, that sort of time, before we start moving stuff out.
Then the flies are going to come and invade.
Yeah. So what's Dean saying? Free reign, Dean. Free. I don't know if I can handle it though, man. I don't know if I can handle all this freedom on my own. lucky I've got the kids and stuff to keep me on track. We've got 23 people, 10 likes. If you haven't hit that like for me, please hit that like. I don't grow many chilies, but a few. Yeah, chilies are a good time if you haven't already sowed them. Lindsay said she sowed chilies, peppers, aubergines, and a couple of tomatoes today. Yeah. So we sowed some cabbages, pak choy. What else did we sow? Cauliflowers. We sowed a few of those last weekend, and they're in the greenhouse. They'll come up slowly, and they'll just hang about in the first one. And they'll just hang about in the greenhouse until they pop up and they're ready to plant out. I sowed some kohlrabi and giant Swede yesterday. Dean, have you still got those seed packs? Because I want to buy one of those seed packs off you if you've got them. Because I want to have a go at giant beetroot, some kohlrabi, some giant tomatoes. So Dean's selling these giant seed packs. Well, they're giant vegetable seeds, so not a giant pack of seeds.
That's what it sounds like.
What are you doing? Why are you taking your socks off?
I think it's hot.
Right. I bought some beefsteak tomato seeds. I'll do them on the 1st of March. Okay, you sit back. Okay.
Lucky, calm down. Okay, I'll grab him.
No, leave him. He's all right. He's gonna be good. So, Mark sown chilies, onions, shalotso already sown, aubergines and peppers to do in the next few days. And once DT Brown get my seeds delivered. Do you know DT Brown, Dobbies and Thompson and Morgan? They're all the same company now. That's a spanner. Because they're moderators. They help look after the channel. So yeah, they've all become one company. A few years ago, that Thompson and Morgan bought them all out. Oh, well, I think just check. Just Google it and check. I've got a lot done this week in the polytunnel, and got some fruit bushes planted out. Ivan, what fruit did you plant? I like to grow winter cabbages. I'm not a massive one when it comes to cabbages and cauliflowers. You know, the main brassica that I grow. The main brassicas that I grow are kohlrabi, and I like to grow a lot of pak choy. They're the big veg that I like growing. I mean, cabbages I grew. We got some nice cabbages last year, and I don't grow massive ones. I grow small ones. So pick one cabbage, cook one cabbage, that sort of thing. And cauliflowers, we've grown them in the past, but again, it's not one that I grow loads of. I'm gonna get pak choi soon next week. Yeah. So I'm gonna get pak choi. Danger seek giant veg seeds. Seek them. I've got some cactus seeds. A cactus. That's interesting.
What about Venus flytraps?
Are you gonna grow them as indoor plants? Oh, we want some Venus flytraps, don't we?
I remember Sasa had it in the attic and then it
Yeah.
died out and got all dry.
We'll get some. I think that's what a couple of plants that we want. Some Venus flytraps. What seeds have you got, please? It's only veg or flowers.
Put one in the shoebox for the flies and stop invading.
So, Dean, I'd love to buy. Dean, there you go. You got loads of people wanting giant veg seeds. You got loads of people wanting them. So use a seed tray, pop the dahlias into them, and pop them into some bottom heat, 15 Celsius. When the first cuttings come up, bin them. Take the second, the third, fourth cuttings. See, do you know what I do? What I've always done with my dahlias, right? I've got them in pots, and I just leave them in the pots. I mulch the pots heavily, and they just come back every year. I mean, I've overwintered them in the ground before in some spots, but because there's a lot of worms, there's a lot of composting worms and stuff in the garden. Anything that they see that's a little bit weak, they'll just eat that. So I've lost a few dahlia tubers like that, but I've never dug them out and put them in the greenhouse and then tried overwintering them. Tried getting them to fruit, flower and bud like that. I've just left them in the pots always. But I need to be a bit more proactive with them actually, because I do like them. The only thing that puts, I mean, they're absolutely beautiful looking flowers, but the only thing that's bad about them is they don't have a smell. There's not much fragrance to them. Now, if they had fragrance, I think they'd be perfect.
What?
They'd be the ideal flower.
What if you tried adding perfume on them?
Putting perfume onto the flower. Yeah, cabbages take a lot of room. See, do you know the way I grow, right? I grow really intense. So probably in the space that a normal person would plant one cabbage, I'm planting 2 or 3. Because I only want small heads. I'm not.
Planting 4.
Yeah. So hang on. Sit down. No jumping, please. I deal with more veg because a full packet of seeds are mostly wasted with me. See, I want to start getting into more flowers this year. Can you sit down? Okay. Yeah, I want to start getting into more flowers and start getting a bit more of a flower section and start designing the garden a bit better.
Can we grow some of my dwarf sunflowers?
So yeah, we can grow some of your dwarf sunflowers, absolutely.
I'm gonna try to put one in the windowsill.
Okay. Yeah, I'll grow the cactus as indoor plants. I've only got 2 varieties and one has germinated. Not sure which one though. I'll find out in about a year. Are you as good as labeling as me? Because I'm absolutely horrible when it comes to labeling. Okay, dinner time. Dinner time. So I managed to put together 25 packs of giant veg seeds, but quite limited at the moment. Sold them all. I sold the packs to help people get started as I'm hosting a giant veg competition. Sponsored by Canna in September. Absolutely, see that you've pulled off something absolutely amazing there. Really well done. Really hard work paid off. Yeah. Summer fruiting raspberries, gooseberry bushes, and moved a 5-year-old blackcurrant bush. Fingers crossed with a blackcurrant. Close that door, please. See, we love gooseberries. So we've got a green rose gooseberry, we've got red gooseberry, we've got loads of blackcurrants. Okay, yeah, purple, red. Okay, fine. See, I'm being corrected. I said red, but they're purple apparently.
The green ones are really sour.
No, there's a different green bush that'll be sweet. Yeah, so we've got loads of blackcurrant bushes that were here from before I moved to this house. So there must be about 20, 30-year-old gooseberry bush, blackcurrant bushes. The old mans who used to live here, and we don't eat a lot. I mean, we don't like the blackcurrants. So, but the chickens and the birds love them. So they're still in place. They're still in the garden, but they're not getting wasted. At least someone's benefiting from
them. Red currants are the best.
them. I'm going to grow some watermelon plants up trellis. Forgot to mention. Sean, whereabouts in the country are you? Let me see what seeds I've left and how many packs I can put together and work with Monty's permission. Yeah, absolutely. If you put a post up, but don't forget my pack because I want a pack. I'm having a go growing some large potatoes this year, following advice given by Tony. Growing Condo. Desiree is a good variety for large potatoes. Did you ever see the potatoes I got a couple of years back, just in wood chip? They were huge. We got some absolute stonkers.
They were all wonky.
Yeah, they were wonky, but the first year that we started YouTube, that year we got the best potato harvest ever. We got some really massive potatoes.
I remember once we got about 4 buckets of potatoes. I was 3 or 4, I can't remember.
But Condo, I'm gonna have a look at that. I'm gonna have a look out for that variety because I haven't bought my potatoes yet. It was a mixed pack of cactus seeds, so I had no idea. Oh, that's see, I'm just bad at labeling. I just get everything muddled up. Bush in there. I only have giant veg seeds there from my own seed stock. I usually grow dahlias, sweet peas, and lilies for cups. I love lilies. I absolutely love lilies. I remember when I came up to yours and I saw Leslie's lily plot. But yeah, I absolutely love lilies. You want to take? I need to give you a cutting of some of the black lilies that I've got. So I've got some lilies. I'll stop leaning on that. So I've got some black lilies, or they're dark brown. Yeah.
We've also white lilies.
We've got some white lilies as well, but these black ones are absolutely beautiful. Really dark.
There's some going in front of the door. Wait, what's your favourite fruit? That we grow.
So, condos are like rocking horse manure. What do you mean rocking horse manure? I don't know what he means by that.
When you say that rocking horse manure, it sounds like you're talking to
yeah, I don't understand that.
To me, but yeah, Zaki.
Close that door, please. I'm in Selby, which is only 18 miles from. Yeah, I know where Selby is. We come up to the livestock market quite a bit. So do you know when they're fur and feathers up at Selby Market? Come and buy some chickens from there every now and then. But fur and feathers has been off for a while, so hopefully that once that's open up again, then I'll be up your end. So these are plot. Where can I find? Yeah, so Dean's put a link for my Facebook group. If you're not already in, if you're not already a member of our Facebook group, there's our Facebook group. Come along and we'll have a bit of a chat. It's a nice little group to be a part of. It's a good friendly group actually. It's quite nice. Not easy to get hold. Okay, rocking horse. So it's impossible to find. Fair enough. Fair enough. I have a picture I took of Leslie in your garden. That was my phone. Yeah. It was a nice day when you guys all came down. It was a really nice day. A bit like hen's teeth. See, that was another expression that I didn't get because you were talking about those fires being like hen's teeth, and I didn't know what. You know, I was like, what? Hens don't have teeth. What are you talking about? I can't believe I'm on fire today. I'm on it. Just start speaking a bit faster, and then I'll soon fall behind. So I was expecting a couple of people. They'd ask me some quite detailed questions on comments on my videos, and if I go into answering them, I'd be ending up typing a full essay. So rather than that, I said, come along to my live stream and then we'll have a chat here. And they're like, oh, okay. I thought they'd turn up, but never mind. Are you going to buy bottle? Are you going to grow bottle gourds? Absolutely. Sean, every bottle gourds are one of the staples. Excuse me. So chilies, bottle gourds, these are the ones that I grow a lot of. So bottle gourds, snake gourds. I really like snake gourds, but different type of bottle gourds. Absolutely. We were looking at the seeds a couple of days ago, so I've already sort of someone asked me for some seeds, so I sent them out last week, and I'm deciding on the ones that I want to grow. So we've got a couple of I mean the writing's in Bengali, so I can't read the writing, so I can't remember so I can't tell you the name of them. But there's some round ones, some long ones, a couple of F1 varieties. Yeah, so I'll get them sown towards the end of this month, so towards the end of February. So where do I buy my bottle gourd seeds from? Normally, you can get you can normally get bottle gourd seeds if you find any Bengali grocery shops. I'm not sure what city you're in, but if you find them, they've normally got them behind the counter. Just go in and ask for them, and you can get them. Otherwise, it's online, and then you don't know whether you're getting decent quality seeds or not. Do chili peppers and need light to germinate or just heat? Just heat. Yeah. Alicia, if you're in Bradford, there's loads of Bengali shops in Bradford, absolutely everywhere. They're absolutely everywhere. If you can get onto Manningham Road or Manningham Lane, there's the big, Al Falah, the big one there. You're guaranteed to find them there. The chili and peppers need light to germinate. I answer that. So yeah. Yeah, Lisa, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. Hope you're keeping well. No, not a problem. You pop in as you're ready. Sean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you find some Asian grocery shops, or if you can find some Bengali grocery shops, then you'll definitely be able to get a hold of them. I'm in Bradford and Leeds at least 3 days a week. So if you're in Bradford and Leeds, so Sean, if you're in Leeds, if you know Roundhay Road, there's a couple of grocery shops on there that will always have them. Drop me a message and I'll tell you exactly where. Yeah, on Manningham Lane. So there's Al Falah on Manningham Lane. They'll have them. They always do. So Lisa's doing well. Have you been hit by the winds at all? So we've been battered quite a bit. Yeah. But bottle gourds I'll start sowing towards the end of February. I might start sowing a couple a little bit earlier than that. Depends on if I can resist myself or not. But yeah, we normally sow them towards the end of February, and they're growing on. Keep them as small, stout plants till sort of the end of March. Any vines that they start throwing out, trim them back because they're not going to go out into the garden until end of May, early June. And once we're ready, they're all out. They're all going out. Yeah, Sean, they need warmth. So whatever conditions that you're going to grow squash in, they want the same sort of conditions as squash, but they need more warmth than a squash. So there's a couple of tips that I've done. There's a couple of videos that I've done around, growing the bottle gourds, getting a plant outside, and then when you it's best to hand pollinate the flowers, because what can happen with the flowers is normally bottle gourds are in India and they're pollinated by night moths. So moths come out at night time and they pollinate the plants. But in this country, that same species of moth isn't here. So the pollination isn't as great over here. So if you hand pollinate it, and then once the fruit is set, then bag the fruit. So stick a plastic bag over it, a zippy bag. And then once you've done that, once you put the zippy bag over it, then the heat will help that fruit grow. And once you put the zippy bag over it, within a couple of weeks, you'll end up with a bottle gourd that's close to 2 foot long. Jacob Downey, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. Glad you could join us. Love the blazer. See, I've had 2 comments about this cardigan a couple of now. See, I'm not a fan of it, but yeah, it's something that my wife bought me or my sister bought me, and I have to wear it. But yeah, I'm not a fan of it because it's got this V-neck. uh, Jancy, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. Hope you're keeping well. So do they need to be grown in a greenhouse? I see that you grow yours on a trellis. Yeah, they'll grow depending on how big your greenhouse is. They'll grow into absolutely huge plants. If you give them the space, they will grow massive. They'll grow really well and they'll take up a good amount of space. And they're best grown over an arch or a trellis or some sort. They're a climbing plant, so once they get established, they're best to grow up something and leave them that way. There's a few different types of bottle gourds that I grow. So the long bottle gourds, the calabash type, the birdhouse type. I like the birdhouse type because they're really prolific. They don't get too big. They sort of get to about the size of, well, a mini football, maybe a little bit bigger, and you just sort of pick them as and when you're ready to eat them, and then you can eat them in one go because they're a nice size, rather than growing one of these massive ones and then you half's either going in the freezer or it's going out to to be shared. But that's another nice thing about it. So as long as you get a decent summer outside, they'll do okay. But they will get affected by blight quite early on as well, because towards the end of August it gets quite cold, and September it gets quite cold, and they can get blight quite easily and go backwards that way. I've sown my chilies too, and I've put them on the radiators on the window, hoping that the sprout will catch the light. They'll need, for young chili plants, for them to not get leggy at this time of year, they'll need some artificial light. The sunlight that's coming through the window, I don't think will be strong enough. You're a good husband for wearing it. See, yeah, do you know V-necks? I'm not a fan of V-necks because you get, all the wind goes down the front and your chest gets cold. I'm much more on practicalities rather than the way something looks. Brown Dog Prospecting, how are you doing, mate? Thank you very much for coming in. Hope you're keeping well. Don't have much room in my greenhouse, so that's good. Yeah, I don't grow mine in my greenhouse because the plants just get way too big. I grow other things in my greenhouse. So I grow my snake gourds in my greenhouse, and they get big. They get into really big plants, but the leaves aren't as big and the fruits aren't as big, so they don't take as much space. But even though they're a big plant, if that sort of makes sense. Guys, we've got 31 people in the house. We've got 23 likes. If you haven't hit that like, yeah, please make sure you hit that like as you're coming in. When should I sow ridge gourd and snake gourd and bottle gourd? See, I've done videos on all of these. So all of those, we just covered that about earlier on in the video as well. I sow mine towards the end of this month. So towards the end of February, I sow mine. Can you plant chili plants and aubergines up to the first leaves if they get leggy? With chilies, I always say with both of those actually, you can plant them deep, but I always say it depends on how thick the stem is, because sometimes I planted chilies quite deep and it's been a flimsy stem and they've got rot and died at the neck. But if it's quite a strong stem, then planting them deep doesn't hurt. So what I do with, I wouldn't treat them like tomatoes, because with tomatoes you can as deep as you want and they'll come back to life pretty much. But with chilies, I always go, if I prick them out, I pot them up a little bit deeper, not too much. And if you pot them up individually, pot them up in a way where you're not filling the pot all the way to the top. So pot them so the roots close to the bottom. So you've got maybe a centimetre at the bottom, and then the roots down, and then just put enough compost to cover the, make the plant comfortable. And then as the plant grows, then put more compost in at the bottom. Does that make sense? So as the stem gets thicker and stronger, then put a little bit more compost, and then slowly fill the pot up. And that way I've found that it tends to rot a lot less and die off from the stem a lot less. So that's a little trick. Can you give all the info related to temperature for germinating and growing, planting out of gourds? See, I've done a detailed video on that. They need about 20 degrees Celsius for all of these plants, the tropical plants. But I've done a detailed video on it. That do check those out. I've done loads of videos on growing bottle gourds. So yeah, about 20 degrees Celsius, that sort of temperature to get them germinated. So 150 mile an hour wind started a fire, lost 1,000 homes. Wow, 150 mile an hour. Whereabouts are you, Lisa? I'm glad you turned up. See, this is what this live stream is about. We have a chat, we have a joke, we have a laugh, we ask and I answer your questions. See, the type of the information that you're asking for, I'd have to end up writing an essay for you in the comments, and it just takes too much time. Graham Arnold, how are you doing, mate? Thank you very much for coming in. You sound like my nanny. Keep the cold off it. See, that's exactly what. Yeah, you got to keep the cold off your chest, man. Otherwise, you end up getting cold, and you end up getting poorly. So yeah, that makes sense. Just also, when should we sow Moringa, Amaranth, Moringa? I don't know. I've never grown Moringa before, but Amaranth, I normally grow Amaranth in about April. So I saw it in April, and yeah, it grows really well. Depending on what the type that you're growing, if you're growing the Denga type and you're growing them for the stems, then plant them in sort of late March, April inside, and then once they've grown into about 2-inch long plants, then separate them out, and then once they're hitting about 4 or 5 inches, then plant them out separately outside. But if you're growing them for the leaves and thin stems, just broadcast them into the garden sort of mid-April, that sort of time, late April, and they'll just romp away in your garden. So hopefully it won't get too leggy as my windowsill is facing north. Sean, what we do is, see, my house front garden sort of faces northwest, and the bottom garden sort of faces southeast. So what we do is we'll have everything on the front windowsill in the morning, and then as soon as the sun goes over the top of the house, everything moves to the back windowsill. It's a bit of a faff, and it's going to be harder if my mum's not here this year to do it. But she normally moves everything from the start off at the front of the house and then move to the back of the house by the end of the day. So if you told my grandma you didn't like something my mother had knit, her reply was always, "Ne'er mind, love. It'll keep the back warm." Right, I'm dropping out now to catch you later, so feel free to drop in. Yeah, so pop over to Dean's Live after this. I'm gonna finish a little bit early as well today. I don't understand wind mile per 150 mile per hour is heavy winds. So anything over sort of 25 and you'll feel it. Anything over 50 and you've got gales. Yeah, you got some real strong winds. Do I see Dan Permaculture Food Forest? How are you doing, mate? Long time no see. Hope everything's going well with you. I catch up with you quite a bit on Instagram, so your gardens are always looking pristine, absolutely beautiful. you're always basking in that tropical weather as well. I may get a heated greenhouse when I get my veg patch. That'd be amazing. Sean, have you got a plastic one at the moment? If I try to go out and hit like, I get disconnected. Oh, fair enough, Lisa. Whenever you get your chance, that's great. Yeah, so we're heating the greenhouse with those candles, and they're doing a fairly good job. I've got it so at the moment that we're hitting a steady temperature. The lowest I'm getting is about 4 degrees at night. So even when it's 0 degrees outside, I'm getting 3-4 degrees in the greenhouse, and sometimes even 5 degrees at that same sort of thing. And I'm burning like 4 or 5 candles in the greenhouse. The biggest downside to that is they're not 100% clean burn, and because they're not a clean burn, they're making everything look a little bit sooty. So I had to I gave the greenhouses a bit of a clean today. So I've got one of those car washing things, with the orange spongy thing on a hose pipe attachment. So I just use that to clean the inside of both the greenhouses today. So I don't know if I've just made more work for myself, and don't know if it's worth it heating it the way I am. What I'm aiming to do this year is to build a greenhouse. I've got loads of double glazing window units, so enough to build a nice greenhouse. I need to build a shed of some sort of description. So what I'm thinking is, if I can build a shed with an extended greenhouse, with an extension, which is a greenhouse, and then in that shed, if I can put in a fire, a wood burner, and then I can heat the whole place all winter. That's my plan. Let's see if I can pull it off. Preparing for a cold snap tonight, -3. We're going to get, I think, 0 degrees tonight, so not quite as cold as you, but it's going to be cold. Is there a video for the candles? Yes, there is. I've done a couple of videos. So I did a video for the candles, making them, and then I did a video for the review of the candles. Let me see if I can grab a link for you. So, well, let me see, where is it? Oh, I'm going to crash the live if I go looking. They're very recent, so in the last couple of weeks, so probably about 4 or 5 videos ago, I've done a video on making the candles, and it's called fat burning candles. And then a video after that, I've done do the candles work, and it's a review after a couple of weeks. But the thing that I've found as well is the wicks. The wicks keep falling over. So what I've done is, those little skewers, bamboo skewers you can get. So I get the bamboo skewers, and I wrap some old cotton t-shirt or something around it. So the cotton's wrapped around the bamboo, and then stick that in, and then use that as the thing that I burn it on. It creates a lot of smoke, but the wicks don't fall over, and it burns for a nice 24-30. One tin can burns for at least 24 hours minimum, sometimes 30 hours, 40 hours, that sort of time. I'm not quite getting 2 days burn out of it, but what I do is I make load, with the fat, I make 10, 12 candles in one go, and then it'll go for, it lasts me 2-3 days, and then I'll go over it, do the whole thing again. Yeah, Ivan, this year it's going to be a busy year for me. I always start off with big plans, and I never, I don't know if I ever managed to pull off what I want to pull off. Yeah, last year my big projects were, the chicken coop, and hopefully my 2 big projects this year are the man cave / greenhouse, and the other one is my what's the composting area. The composting area is another big one that I need to do. Lillian is no, it's not with poultry fat, it's with sheep and beef fat. So I just get my butchers, I just go down to the butchers and say, you know, he saves me a couple of bags of fat that he's throwing away. He has to pay to get rid of it. I take it off his hands. I use it to heat my greenhouse. It's a win-win for us both. So all goods at the same time, no diff, is it? For now, you know, if you're learning to grow them, just plant them all at the same time. It's, you know, don't don't stress about the differences in them. The thing is, because gourds, bottle gourds, squash are so, you know, they're so similar in terms of their growing conditions. Just I haven't done separate videos on each one. I've combined them all into one, and I've just called it growing gourds. So have you ever thought about having guests on my stream? Sean, I do have guests on my stream. So every now and then I'll bring on what we were doing last year was every now and then I bring on a special guest source, an expert in a specific area. So a couple of months ago we had Mike Hogue on talking about microplastics and soil microplastics. Before that we've had other people on talking. We've had a couple of permaculture designers on talking about soil and building fertility. I used to do one where I just bring on anyone, so everyone gets to come up and join in, and it gets a little bit crazy. And those chats are going to start again soon. I just need to get back into it because I stopped streaming for a while towards the back end of last year. Everything was getting a bit too much, so I stopped streaming for a bit. So I'm just getting back into it. But those chats will be coming back very soon. I could do with a fat burning candle or eating less biscuits. See, when I put the fat burning candle up, I think I was getting some clicks off people who thought it was going to be about losing weight. So we'll see. Candles are a great idea, but yes, Sooty, since 20 Celsius. So if you can get enough of the poultry fat to do it, then yeah, because if you can extract the oil from the fat, just the fat on its own, you know, with all the water and all the meaty stuff in it, it's not going to be a good thing. But so if you can extract the oil from it with beef fat and sheep fat, is quite simple. Just heat it and the oil just sort of naturally comes out, and then you just use that, and once that sets, you've got yourself a candle. Really simple to make. But if you can do that with poultry fat, absolutely. I mean, you can do it with old vegetable oil. So for people who are vegan, if you use, you know, like vegetable oil for frying chips and stuff, use the old vegetable oil, and you can do the same thing. But it, like I say, it does get a little bit sooty. That's the biggest downside of it. Right. I've got to end it a little bit early today. I've got an invitation somewhere, so I'm gonna call it a day there. And we're live here every Saturday, 8 o'clock, same time, same place. So come back in and join us, and have a good week. And I'll have a video out tomorrow showing you the damage that's happened in my garden thanks to these winds. So on that note, I'm going to leave it there for this one. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.